Okay, in this video, I want to talk a little bit about lines. And I've used lots of different lines, and pretty much weight forward is where I go. I fish primarily on the Huron River for bass. So I'm using anything from very small caddises to some pretty good sized streamers. The Huron River in some places is quite large, but a lot of places you're not casting very far. And sometimes when you get a trout line, uh, the a fly line is broken up into a number of pieces. And I'm going to come in close here to show you. I'm going to come down here. And right here where it meets the leader, this is usually pretty thin. And on a trout leader, this thin area tends to be really, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 feet. That's for delicate presentations. Then you have your thicker body, and that goes for about 30 feet, and then it becomes thin again. Well, that works well and good for a big stream, and you're laying out sort of beautiful Adams flies. With bass, again, they're not as presentation shy as trout, but also it has to do with the shortness of uh, how small the stream is. This particular line I have is what's called a single-handed spey line, which I think just means that it has a very short, very concentrated, heavy part of the line. Here's the tip. See how it gets quite a bit thicker? I don't know if you can tell. Um, this thick part is actually much closer to the tip than a regular weight forward line and is much more condensed. So most of the weight is from about 3 feet from the end of the line. So it starts getting thick in about 3 feet for only maybe another 20 feet. So it's quite heavy near the end. And what that allows you to do is be able to load the rod in a short distance versus a normal rod loads really well at 30 to 40 feet. This one loads really well at shorter distances than that, maybe 20, 30 feet. Now you can take a regular weight forward line and just trim off about 6, maybe 5 feet of the beginning of the fly line before you tie the leader on. And that will give you somewhat of the same effect. If you fish a lot of small streams, especially if you're fishing a lot of small streams like Mill Creek we have here in Dexter, Michigan, it's just a small little creek. And most of the time you barely have the leader out of your rod, and you need some weight to be able to cast. And so if you're having problem with these short casts, aside from some casting techniques, just by putting the heavier part of the line closer to the leader, it'll be able to turn that leader over a little better. It's a very subtle thing, but you'll notice it. And all of a sudden you'll be able to cast quite a bit better on the shorter distances. The longer distances and presentation, it kind of suffers. So there's a little bit of a cost there. But if you're tossing streamers, the presentation isn't really quite that important. And it allows the rod to turn that streamer over a little bit easier. Okay, so that's just a quick tip. See you later.